Okay, now let's look at 5.4 part 2. Okay, so we've got a different type of problem in 5.4.2. We're going to talk about rational functions. We're going to do two pieces. First piece is find the domain. Second piece is find the zeros. So that's what we're going to do. And so the idea with this is we got two steps. Find the domain. What we do is we set the bottom equal to 0, solve, and then we say all reals except whatever our answers are. Okay, top's a little bit easier. We just set the zeros over here, set the top equal to 0 and solve, and then we have our answers. Okay, so let's look at an example of this. So first example dealing with these is a problem. We have f of x. Okay, we're dealing functions. Remember, so it's f of x. We get 2x squared plus minus 7x plus 3, x cubed plus x squared minus 2x. Okay, so for part A, we set the bottom, this is the domain, equal to 0. And then we solve. To solve this, particular steps, factor, x comes out as a GCF, and then we want factors of -2 that add to +1. So it's +2, -1. Okay, we want -2 that adds to 1. Alright, so that's +2, -1. That's what I have. Zero product property, covered last semester. X equals 0, x plus 2 is equal to 0, so x is equal to -2, or x minus 1 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 1. So our answer for this is all reals except 0, -2, and 1. That's part A. Okay, set the bottom equal to 0 and solve. So look at B. B, we need to take the top. Okay, and set the top equal to 0. The top is 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. We set that equal to 0, and we need to solve. Okay, so this is a harder one to factor. Okay, there's no GCF, harder one to factor. We use the bridge method. 2 times 3 equals 6. We want factors of 6 that add to -7. That's -6, -1. So we do 2x squared minus 6x minus 1x plus 3 equals 0. The first piece, a GCF of 2x comes out. The second piece, a GCF of -1 comes out. And then I can pull the x minus 3, and so we get 2x minus 1 equals 0. Zero product property, x minus 3 is equal to 0. 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So we get x is equal to 3, 2x equals 1, or x equals 1/2. And those are your zeros. Okay? So we factor, use the zero product property, and solve. Let me do one more example of find the domain and range of these particular problems. Do one a little bit easier. Okay, a little bit easier to factor. Okay, we'll do f of t is equal to t squared minus 9t over t squared minus 9 on top, t squared minus 9t on bottom. Okay, so we do A, the domain. Okay, so that means at the bottom, t squared minus 9t equal to 0. Okay, and I solve. GCF of t, pull it out, set it equal to 0. T is equal to 0, t minus 9 is equal to 0, so we get t equal to 9 here. And so our domain is all values except 0 and 9. Alright, let's look at B. B, we set the numerator equal to 0. We want to find the 0, so it's t squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Again, this is a difference of squares, so it's t plus 3. T minus 3 is equal to 0. Zero product property. And so t is equal to negative 3, t is equal to positive 3, and those are your answers. Okay, so that's it for finding the domain and range for these problems. The domain and zeros, excuse me.